Hi, this is Mrs. Lloyd with Lesson 2, Session 1 for iReady Math 7, Unit Rates for Ratios with Fractions. Our learning targets: find unit rates for ratios with fractions, solve problems involving ratios with fractions. Which one doesn't belong? We have 3 vocabulary to add to your notebook: unit rate, ratio of 2 different units with a denominator of 1, complex fraction, fraction in which the numerator, the denominator, or both are also fractions, and ratio, a way to compare two quantities. Please pause the video and record those in your notebook. And now the try it on page 33. Grace's grandmother weaves a rug that is 1/3 yard wide and 2 yards long. Grace wants to weave a rug that uses the same design but is 1 yard wide. What do you think the question is going to be? Do you notice anything that we might use right now? Did you say how long will the rug be as the question? Grace wants to weave a rug that uses the same design but is 1 yard wide. How long will the rug be? We could look at this multiple ways, but I noticed that her grandmother's was 1/3 yard wide and she wants to go 1 yard wide. 1/3 times what would give me 1? I hope you said 3. So in other words, Grace's rug will be 3 times larger. So if it's 3 times wider, it's also going to be 3 times longer. And then that's a simple 2 times 3 is 6 yards. On page 34. The original rug has a length of 2 yards and a width of 1/3 yard. You can write the ratio of length to width as 2 to 1/3. To find the unit rate, you can start with the complex fraction, 2 divided by 1/3. Fractions in which the numerator, the denominator, or both are also fractions and are called complex fractions. Let me read that sentence again. Fractions in which the numerator, the denominator, or both are also fractions are called complex fractions. You can simplify a complex fraction by dividing, since a fraction bar represents division. So remember, we see a fraction bar and we hate it, but really a fraction bar just means division. So we can think 2 divided by 1/3 as 2 divided by 1/3. Then you can divide to simplify. What is the unit rate for the ratio of length to width of the original rug? So what is 2 divided by 1/3? Remember that 2 divided by 1/3 is the same thing as 2 times the reciprocal, 3 over 1, which is just 3, or 6. In part B, rewrite the complex fraction 1/8 divided by 4/9 as a division expression using the division symbol. So 1/8, we read it top to bottom, divided by 4/9. And then part C says, what is that quotient? Quotient is the answer to a division problem, so let's divide. 1/8 divided by 4/9 is the same thing as 1/8 times 9/4. 1 times 9 is 9. 8 times 4 is 32. And now part D. Suppose a bug travels 1/2 mile in 12 minutes. Write a complex fraction you could use to find the speed of the bug in miles per minute. So when it says miles per minute, we need to do miles 1/2 per minute, 12 minutes. So that says 1/2 divided by 12, which is the same thing as 1/2 times 1/12, which is 1/24 unit, miles per minute. Miles per minute, 1/24 mile per minute. And think about this one. Are 1 divided by 3/4 and 1/3 divided by 4 equivalent fractions? Prove it by doing the work. Is 4/3 the same thing as 1/12? No, and the symbol means not equal to. So the answer is no. And our explanation is in our work. Chefs and bakers use ratios to determine the amounts of ingredients in a recipe. When one ingredient changes, the amounts for the other ingredients must change to keep the ratios equivalent. When might it be useful to use ratios to determine an amount or quantity? As somebody who bakes, I do this all the time. When I'm baking something and I need more than just what the recipe makes for one recipe, I will double or triple the recipe. So all the time this happens when somebody bakes large amounts. On page 35, number 2. On a bookshelf there are 5 paperback books and 3 hardcover books. Is the ratio of books to hardcover books 5:3? 5 paperback books, 3 hardcover books. Is the ratio of books to hardcover books 5:3? I hope you said no. Books to hardcovers, how many total books are there? How about 8:3? 5:3 would be the ratio of paperback books to hardcover books. So you could answer that either way. And number 3. Muna is making a scale drawing of a gecko. The gecko is 1/2 inch wide and 5 inches long. She decides to make her drawing of the gecko 1 inch wide. How long will the drawing be? So So the gecko is 1/2 inch and 5 inches, and she wants to make hers 1 inch. So again, you might think of this a couple different ways, but I know that 1 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 1 times 2, which is 2. I could also think of this as 1/2 times 2 gets me to 1 inch. So multiple ways to think about that, but our scale factor is 2. We're doubling. So 5 inches long times our scale factor of 2 means it will be 10 inches in her drawing. And again, they tell us to check our answer, but we showed our work up here. Thanks for watching.